And even e-com can use this strategy, but if you're not in e-com, especially now, it's about having a community, because targeting on Facebook has gotten tougher because they've taken away so many, especially if you're targeting Black audiences, they've taken them all away. The cost of getting in front of the right people has gone up, but the key to combat that is if you have your own audience, if you have your own community.
Hey, what's going on, family? Welcome back to another episode of the Traffic Sales and Profit Show. I'm your host, Lamar Tyler. And we've been talking about, on recent episodes, how you have a great product, great service, but if you don't have traffic, if you don't have a way to get more people, more leads in front of your product or service, right, you'll never make the money you should make in your business. So today, I brought one of my leading experts in, Terry Foster from Terry Foster Consulting. What's up, Terry?
Glad to be here.
Good to see you, man. And we talking about that traffic thing, like traffic, since the first thing I mentioned, right? Like, it's always been an issue with people, and especially for like small businesses, because they have, like I said, great products, great services, but if they can't never get enough people to see that thing, they can't convert. I mean, is that true? Or you agree?
It's still true. It was true then and it's true now, and that's definitely something that a lot of businesses struggle with. They put in time creating a great product, great offer, but if you're missing traffic, if you don't get enough visibility, enough eyeballs seeing whatever you got, then it's going to be tough to make money. So yeah, still the name of the game.
All right, so I want to go into some specific stuff they can do to increase traffic, to get more people in. But before we do, I always like to go into like how the experts got to become the experts that they are. Now, when you started, like, did you go to school for marketing? Did you go to school for business? Like, did you not? You got helped your way into it? Like, what did it look like?
Yeah, well, I didn't go to school for this. I got degrees in computer information systems and accounting. I did go back and get an MBA, but the Facebook ad really had nothing to do with school. I was in corporate for 10 years. I was a computer programmer for 5 years, then a business analyst for 5 years after that. Good, high-paying job, but just really unfulfilled. I knew that I was capable of a lot more, and I always had that entrepreneur spirit, but kind of just got comfortable. I went to school, got the degrees, got a good job, was making pretty good money. But yeah, I knew that I had to make a change. When my son T was born, that caused me to reflect. I was like, man, if I don't make a change now, I'm going to look up 10 more years, 20 years, it's going to be gone. I'm not going to do what I said I was going to do. So that's when I started thinking about ways to get out of corporate and start making, my path as an entrepreneur. The Facebook ad kind of fell in a lap. I was actually trying to launch another business, and I knew to launch that business, I was going to need traffic. I already knew that from the gate, even though I was an entrepreneur. So I started studying ways to get traffic, and that business kind of didn't come to fruition, but I learned a valuable skill set. I was like, let me just see if I can help some people do this because I know it's valuable. So I think that my technical background with being in IT helped, and then I always kind of been natural at copywriting. I didn't know it was called copywriting back then, but I always had a way to kind of communicate with words to get people to take action. So that makes for a pretty good Facebook ads manager, I found out. So I kind of just started out as a freelancer, hustling, getting jobs on Elance. That became Upwork. Started hitting some singles. Those singles became doubles. Then started hitting some home runs and turned it into an agency.
Nice. So I want to go back into some of this for a minute, because at what point, right, because you said like, hey, you were well employed, right, and making good money. At what point did you make the transition from doing that to being a full-time entrepreneur?
Well, I actually got fired. So they made it a little bit easy, but that's the best thing that ever happened to me. But that was about a year in. So about 6 months into it, that's when my manager at the time, she found out that I was doing it on the side. It really had nothing to do with, like, there was, issues before that. But anyways, I knew that at that point, the writing was on the wall, so she was trying to get me out. She wanted me to quit, but I'm not a quitter, so I didn't quit. But I was hustling on the side to make sure that my side hustle, for when that day came, I would be, able to kind of make that my full-time gig. So it was right about a year is when I was fired, and never looked back.
All right. And as you begin to do your ads and do other people's ads, was it just like a natural thing? Did people know you were doing it and come to you like, hey, Terry, can you do mine? Or was it you like, hey, I got the skill set, I'm gonna find people?
Yeah, I mean, definitely in the beginning, it was hustling, finding people. So, working for free. My first client, he was a news anchor in Pittsburgh. So he just happened to get out of news and was running like a webinar. So I volunteered. I saw her on TV. I was like, I just got to pitch people. So I pitched her and let me do it. We hit, a home run on that one. And because when I first started out, I was kind of broad. I was like, social media marketing makes sense. But after that, I was like, nah, it's Facebook ads is the play. So then I went all in with Facebook ads, and in the beginning, it was just kind of putting myself out there. But of course, after you start to get some case study and you get some success, people start talking about you, and then, it becomes easier to attract people.
All right. And I want to make sure I missed this. You said the first one you did for free.
Absolutely.
So you interrupt, like, what was that conversation like? Hey, I'll just come do this for free. Just let me do it. Give me a testimonial. That did. Like, did you even know to ask for a testimonial?
Absolutely. I mean, I just kept it real, like, I really don't have experience doing this. I've been learning about it because I started off, I took like a course off of Groupon. So, I made it seem like that.
Pay full price before.
I got the Groupon. So, I kept it real. I let them know that I had a little bit of experience, but I was really just looking to, get some more experience. And if she gave me an opportunity, she wouldn't regret it. I was going to work hard. It's going to be free. So that always helps. And she gave me a chance and I rocked it.
That's good. So I just wanted to focus on that for a second because I feel like the Know Your Worth campaign has gone off the rails, right? And I feel like, like people should know their worth, but I also feel like there's so many ways I benefited from life because I just offered something of value to somebody with no strings attached. And it literally was like, hey, like, I'm going to do this. Hey, I'm going to come speak this place. Hey, I'm going to do this thing. And especially if you're trying to build and get on and you don't have a reputation. I still do some stuff like that now, but like, especially when you starting out, I'm like, we had a T-shirt brand. The first thing I did when we launched our T-shirt brand was give out free shirts. I was like, I need to see people with the shirt. I tell people that do like websites and funnels and stuff. The first thing I do is just find the people to build. Yep. It's hard. It's hard for somebody to pay you for something when they ain't got no reference of
what you can do,
or what you ever done, or what the results are going to be. So I love the fact that you did. I love the fact that we talked about that.
Absolutely.
Because I think more people that start out need to just be like, hey, let me just be, I had a photographer one time, like, hey, what I need to do? I was like, just go take pictures of, like, you need a portfolio. Like, the pictures you take is what's going to lead other people to come pay you. If you ain't got no pictures because you want to, I know my worth. And like, no worth you ain't got no worth if you ain't got no customers.
Absolutely. And it's the same thing for ads, too. That's a big mistake that people make is, like, they'll start to spend money on ads before they have even testimonials or customer reviews. Like, don't even spend that $1,000 on ads. Give out $1,000 worth of free products so that you can get some testimonials so that when you do run ads, you actually have some social proof to bake in. But I'm a big believer, even now, if I have a new offer, I give people beta for free just because I want to test it out. I want to get some testimonials. So, even at this stage of entrepreneur, like, there's big value in just leading off of that. It's not going to be forever, but do it, prove yourself, and then the money will come.
That's good. So you do that job, you get some results. It was a home run. You start moving. Then you say you go on Elance, which is now Upwork, right? There's Elance, right? When you're on Elance, are you already treating this like, hey, this is my business, my forte, like I ain't going back to work? Or is it more so just like a side hustle still?
Well, when it first started off, I was just happy to get that extra money, man. getting that paycheck plus that money on the side, I was feeling good. But once you get the taste of actually earning your own money, and then, it was the impact too, just seeing that I was able to help someone, that feeling felt good. So I was like, yeah, this is it. So, pretty quickly it became, then especially 6 months when I knew she was trying to get rid of me, I was like, this is going to have to be it. But I saw it work and I was like, okay, if I was doing this full time, I probably would be eclipsing what I'm making full time. So early on, I kind of knew that there was potential in it and I needed to kind of take it, seriously for the future because I don't want to work for anyone anymore.
That's good. So, all right, so you grow that, it starts growing. Now, I know later on you niche down into e-commerce. But was that like an early decision you made? I'm going to do e-com? Or when first off, it was like just anybody, you come on Elance. You got $200-$300, we can get work.
Yeah, I work with a lot of people in a lot of different industries, a lot of different niches, lots of different places. But the e-com play was really a business decision just because, one, we had more and I had more control over the process. So if you're working with someone, for example, a webinar funnel, they need to be good on that webinar or they're going to come back and say the ads don't work. With the e-com, you can give critiques for the store. You have more end-to-end control, although, of course, you don't have full control. So that was helpful. And also, it's just more scalable because most times if you're selling e-com, you want to sell as many products as possible. So they're going to spend more money on ads, which means I get paid more money. So it was also a business decision for the e-com play.
Nice. Now, what are some things, because I'm sure some e-commerce business owners that are watching, what are some things that you see with e-commerce companies, like before you try to run ads, you should do this? You talked about getting testimonials and feedback. Anything else they should be doing?
Yeah, the big thing is doing your homework and studying your competition. So that is the number one thing that any brand should do, especially e-com, because you're likely not the only person selling the product that you're selling. So how do you stack up to the competition? What does their website look like? What does their social media look like? Because you have to look the part. Like there's lots of options when people are seeing ads. You're not the only company they have the choice to buy from. So it's tough because it takes a lot of being honest with yourself to say, hey, like this is my competition and their stuff looks a lot better than mine. So maybe I need to, focus on upping my brand, fixing my website before I even start to run ads. But a lot of people, it's weird because business owners, they really don't like to spend money, but they also want to get there quickly. So they want to start spending ads when a lot of times they may not even be ready yet. There's other ways to deploy that money that will put them in a better position to actually be successful. So that's a big one, is just studying your competition in the website. Like your website has to be able to convert traffic because your ads can get all the clicks in the world. But if it's just like a bad user experience once they hit the store, if people don't trust that they're going to get the product, if there's red flags, then you're not going to make any money. And it's, you're going to waste your money.
Now, what's your take on when people are starting out, should they be running ads themselves? Because I kind of see it like both ways, right? It's definitely good that somebody knows what's going on and not totally green. And then, sometimes it's just people like they're just a bad, or have no experience, right? It's like, the world's full of scammers. And I heard a lot of people that's like, hey, you know what? Like I paid this person to set my stuff up. So I definitely think it's good for you to know what's going on. But then I also know that a person could waste a lot of time. And some people, just depending on what your gift is, you can be running for years and still never really get it, right, man? It's like what's your take on that?
Yeah, I'm in the same camp. Like you should know enough to kind of like at least know what's going on so you don't get completely taken advantage of. So I'm definitely a proponent of making sure that you understand the basics. You can have a conversation. Right now we're in a really critical time, and I see this mistake, but I understand why. So the Facebook and all paid traffic game has definitely gotten a lot tougher. It's harder to compete. So what business owners are doing is they're not hiring the experts and they're going at it themselves. And when I look at what they're doing, it's just totally wrong. The pixel's not set up. It's the wrong objective. Ad copy's not showing properly. Hell, it's just a mess. And like they're spending money and they're not even getting good data because they don't want to invest in paying the agency or expert because, funds are tight. They may have tried in the past. It didn't work, but, that's just not good because they're wasting money and they're wasting time. So like if someone can't afford to like go all in with like an agency, I totally understand that. But at least, maybe you can buy an hour or a couple hours of an expert's time to sit down with you, make sure that everything looks good before you give it a go. Because, I just see people out here like wasting money. I understand, because agencies now are super expensive, but like it's that catch-22. It's really a dilemma, but just spinning your wheels and getting it wrong and wasting money, I know that's not the answer.
I love it. All right, so somebody's watching, so they're getting this, they're like, all right, I'm gonna learn just enough. And it's cool, right? Because Facebook has free courses.
Right.
It's like a lot of course platforms out there get free courses. So it's definitely enough information if you're willing to learn, so you can get, like I said, the basics down, but kind of letting somebody know what they do, kind of be able to optimize and tweak it and get what you need to do to kind of move forward.
Right.
So let me ask you this. So the company is growing, you're full-time in the business. Like, at what point did it feel like you were running like a business? Where you're like, okay, this is like company, not just like a hustle?
Probably when I hired like my first full-time employee, not like a contractor with, that W-2 payroll taxes. All that's
the government was like, this is a business.
Yeah. So that's probably when it definitely, felt like a business, just knowing that, I had that level of responsibility, really kind of, changed the game. And that's why I transition to try to really make it more of an agency of just being like a freelancer, trying to build a team around me just so that we can, help more people. That's when it really seemed real like a business.
Yeah.
If you're a 6 or 7-figure entrepreneur, a black business owner, and you don't know where to go, if you feel like you're alone, if you feel like you don't have anyone to talk to that gets how you feel or gets the pressures of being a business owner in today's climate, guess what we do? I want to introduce you to the Traffic Sales and Profit Mastermind. Now in the TSP Mastermind, we have a 12-month program that's going to help you reach your next 6, 7, or 8 figures in business over the course of a year. Now, along that year, we have one-on-one coaching, we have accountability, we have community, we have live events, and everything you need in order to reach the next level. For more information, visit us at www.trafficsalesandprofit.com.
For people watching that may have an agency or, you're thinking about starting an agency, what do you think are like the toughest parts about doing that kind of business specifically with an agency?
Yeah, agencies are tough for sure. It's definitely, of course, finding the people in the team, because when you have an agency, you're not doing it all yourself. So that's, number one is finding the right people. Also, just like the SOPs and documentations, because even though, you're not doing it all yourself, you still want to impart like how you do things upon the team. And if you don't have like SOPs and documentation, then that makes it really, really hard to do. So getting that stuff in place really makes, the agency game smoother, but, agencies, it's definitely tough.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. All right, so the thing takes off. You got, everything moving and grooving. How did you kind of transition from, hey, I'm doing like, kind of gigs to like now I'm working with 6-figure brands, 7-figure brands, and kind of beyond? You work with a lot of big companies. Like, was that just word of mouth? Was it strategy? Was it you running your ad? Like, how did that kind of happen? Because you made a transformation. I think a lot of folks that say, even when I have an agency, haven't been able to make that jump with that level of clientele.
Yeah, so I mean, there's definitely a few factors in that, just getting in the right rooms, like, the mastermind. So being in proximity with like those types of businesses and brands that I wanted to partner with, that was big. Running paid traffic, that was big. So kind of putting that message out there of who I was looking for and actually putting dollars behind going out and to getting those people. That was a big part of it. And also just making sure along the way just to capture as many testimonials and reviews is possible, because once you do that, that's going to kind of attract the people that you're looking to draw in. So there's a lot of factors that kind of led to that, but that was definitely like a big shift of being able to kind of step up that caliber of clientele.
I love it. So I know you've learned a lot from work with those different kind of businesses. For the people that are watching, the viewers that are watching, may have an e-com business or something else. Say they got ads and the ads are working, but they're trying to figure out how to go bigger with them. Are there normally like a few steps or a few things they should look out for?
Yeah, I mean, the number one thing that you need to understand is your number. So I've seen a lot of people make that mistake of really just not knowing the numbers, like how much can you afford to pay to acquire a customer? Because let's say if you can profitably afford to pay $15 to acquire a customer and you're acquiring customers at $10, then you could be spending more money to scale things up and actually make more profit and more revenue. So, especially, a few years ago, that was a major problem, just not putting the foot on the gas. So that was a big problem. And then also not getting their back end right. So especially now, so that's one of the big shifts now, is that your back end game, like what you do to monetize customers after they come into the door. So if your email sequences, are those right, you get people to buy again? If so, how often? So once you do that, if you're able to control that back end so that you can maximize your customer lifetime value, now that means you can afford to pay more to acquire a customer, which means you can stay in the game of running ads when most companies can't if they don't have that stuff in place. So a lot of people neglect that and they want to rely solely on the paid traffic to drive their business, and that could be risky.
So you talk about that, like they want to neglect paid traffic and do it. But you also, we were talking beforehand, you were saying for more service-based businesses or information product businesses, there is another alternative to just running straight Facebook or Instagram ads.
Absolutely, yeah. So even e-com can use this strategy, but if you're not in e-com, especially now, it's about having a community, because targeting on Facebook has gotten tougher because they've taken away so many, especially if you're targeting Black audiences, they've taken them all away. The cost of getting in front of the right people has gone up, but the key to combat that is if you have your own audience, if you have your own community. So for those types of businesses, they really need to tap into the power of Facebook groups. I know that you do that with traffic, sales, and profit. And if you tie back your revenue to that group, I'm sure you can attribute a lot of money to that group. So that's something that I always recommend. If you have something where you can get a Facebook group, that's a great way because you can get Facebook group members for pretty cheaply. You still run ads. You can do it organic as well, but you can run ads to grow your Facebook group. And then once you get them inside a group, provide value, captivate them, and lead them into your offer so that you can monetize them. So you have to be strategic about how you go about it. But that Facebook group, that audience that you built up, that's going to provide a lot of return on your investment. And a lot of people overlook it because it takes a little bit more time. It's easier to just, hope that you can put up a Facebook ad, drive them to a sales page and get them to buy. But that doesn't work as well right now.
Yeah, and I think on the head, we've been talking a lot lately about community. It seems like a lot of people, right? I know a lot of e-com brands, and when you ask them what do they wish they had done sooner, it was start a community. Because they was thinking like, hey, I didn't think I needed. I thought that was just for coaches and consultants and stuff. But what they found is that, hey, the easiest way for me to hold my people tight, stop them from jumping off to other brands where it's real easy, right? And get them to come back and spend more is to build community, right? And then sometimes multiple communities. A general community, a community just for customers or VIPs, right? But able to do along. So we've seen that. But then I was having a conversation with a guest recently as well about why I'm still a Facebook guy. We got Instagram, we got TikTok, all that stuff. I tell them, like, to me, nothing builds community like Facebook, like those groups, right? It's like, you can have, I feel like TikTok and IG is like a lot of, like, hey, like people like watching from the outside in. But, it's like in the group, we know who the vocal people are. We know who the people that do this different. Like I know as much about some of them as they know about me.
That's powerful.
And I feel like on IG is just not the same. You know what I mean? I can go to their page and click through all the stuff. But like on Facebook, I ain't got to do all of that. It's just right there in front of me. So I want to make sure they, like, really, if you're watching this, you're really picking up on this piece we're talking about now as far as community, developing community, getting it closer. Like you said, when we look back, and right, because from running our ads, like literally the best thing we could do is try to sell to the people in the group, even before getting cold people out, right? It didn't matter. It's like, hey, because like the people that are buying time and time again are people that are already in the group.
Yep.
Already been indoctrinated into what we about, what we down for. They may have seen one of my free challenges in the group. Like, they already fans, they already believers in what we do.
So much
easier. Yeah, that's the thing, right? It's so much easier than trying to just, even if we have some compelling creative, just put out in front of somebody's cold. Because the number one thing I'm saying whenever we post something, the cold traffic is, this look good, but I bought something from somebody else.
Yep.
And it was a scam.
Yep. Yeah, that's what you're going to get. In a group, the beautiful thing about it is it's just not you talking about what you can do for them. You have the other people in the group, singing your praises, talking about their results. So with that increases the trust. So that makes selling a whole lot easier. So yeah, don't sleep on the groups. Don't sleep on them.
Yeah. And what you said directly just happened maybe like a week or two ago in a group. One of our team members posted and said, hey, if you're a Propel member, what would you tell somebody that's thinking about joining TSP Propel? Just like our little monthly membership program for folks watching. And literally it was like all of these Propel. I was like, this is good stuff. Like, but they literally were dropping like essentially testimonials in the chat. You should do it because of this. I wish I had done it before because of this. I should have got in earlier because of this. And literally they was going down the line posting that. And again, like people were able to ask them questions and interact with them. Yeah, you could post on any comment thread, but it's just like a different level of sensing and community. So, so somebody's on like building community. Any tips around that community building piece?
Yeah, so you definitely want to make sure that you're intentional about growing the community. So a lot of times people may hear a Facebook group and they think, okay, I don't have to run ads. You can do the organic push, but it's still cheap to grow your group with paid traffic. So make sure that you're actually growing your group. It's important to make sure that your offer is weaved into like the content and what you're doing. You want to have a strategy behind your group. A lot of times people will just, throw up a group, but it's all over the place. Like all your content should be designed to kind of get them closer to whatever it is that your core offer is. And you want to make sure that you're staying engaged with them. Like you're actually having conversations. You're in the DMs. They should know what your offer is and how you can help them. And the people in the group should be in the group because they have a problem that your offer actually solves. And, from there, it's just continuously showing them how it solves it, getting other people to, testify that they solved this, their problem has been solved. Then it becomes easier once you get on sales calls or webinars or event. It just becomes a lot easier to sell.
That's good. That's good. You think most people are under leveraging groups?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm guilty of that for sure. So if I can go back, that's definitely one thing that I would do differently, would just go harder on a group, have like a larger group with.
Because you've had groups of community. I mean, just doing more.
Well, actually, yeah, just being more strategic about it, because like all the stuff that I talked about, I was kind of guilty of just having, I had a group, decent size, but I really wasn't nurturing them. It wasn't strategic in how I was like laying out the content. It was inconsistent. I'll pop in there if I had like an offer or something going on, but yeah, so I just didn't do them their justice. So yeah, people were definitely not leveraging them to the full capability.
When I had you coming in, one of the things I want to talk to you about was AI, because I know it's coming, it's on the rise. I'm sure you've like at least played with it, not going deep dive into it. But I'm curious to know, if you use it, how you use it in your business, if you are. But then also one of the things I was thinking about recently is if you had any thoughts on how is AI going to disrupt ads, running ads, ad management and stuff. Because I know like they're also, Facebook for a while has been saying where it was things you would always manually do. They like, hey, we do it better, right? They're like, that's cute what you're doing. But like, just hit this Facebook button and let us kind of manage this piece of it. But with the speed now that imitates the AI, it seems like, my mind was thinking one way. It seems like, okay, eventually, like they'll just run the whole thing, right? Because what knows the system better than the system? But then my other mind was like, well, if they run all the stuff, can't they manipulate it? And then the third thing I thought about is if they can run great ads for everybody, then at that point, would everybody advertise? I just went down the chain. I don't know if you thought about any of this stuff at all.
Yeah, I have. I thought about, because Facebook, a few years, probably like a year or two ago, they really started trying that, like actually managing people's ads. Luckily, it didn't go well, but when they started doing that, I was like, that's actually a real threat. Like, because like you said, who knows the system better than the system? If they start doing it and they're successful, then that's going to pretty much kill all agencies, freelancers, et cetera, et cetera. But, the AI is definitely a powerful tool that can make that even more reality. The way I leverage it is definitely from a copywriting perspective. Right now, it's just good to create ideas to help kind of speed the process along, to, create hooks and things like that. In terms of like completely taking over ads, it's going to be tough until kind of like the videos become better. Because I think now like the videos and that personal touch and connection is still like key more now so than ever. It's like really getting like those strong creatives, and AI can obviously
videos, sketches them up.
You create them, but they're not there yet.
Well, this app .ai, it can make the whole video. I mean, I ran one of my YouTube videos. I was like, nah, the team know. I tried it. I'm riding with y'all for a while. I went out there. I had to try it.
You gotta try, but it's not quite there yet. And I think it's probably gonna be tough to get there. So that's the saving grace, is that I think it's gonna be tough to kind of completely go, just because of that personal touch is still needed, especially now since more people are doing AI. That just means that personal touch is now even more important, because everyone's sounding the same. The AI is good, but it's still AI.
So that's a great point, because I think what it is whenever a market shifts, is what's the opportunity. And so I remember coming out of the pandemic, a lot of people in my industry have figured out, hey, we can make money without doing in-person events, right? Because all of a sudden we doing virtual events, make the same amount of money. But for me, I was like, all right, well, if they're going to stop the people doing conferences, I want to do more conferences for the same reason. I want the personal touch, because no matter what, like that personal touch is different. And that is one of the things I thought about earlier with AI, is as the personal touch goes away, I think it's a huge opportunity for people that figure out how to do it in whatever their niche is, and do it at a high level, like people still gonna want, and probably even more so than now. Like we're seeing, I think now with events are roaring back because people like did not connect with anybody for so long.
Yep.
They like, man, I just want to be around people. So I think it's with AI is gonna be the same thing. Like I'm not connecting with as many individuals as I used to, so I'm like dying for that connection. People that can execute it well, I think, will be in a good position.
Yep, totally agree. 100%.
Good stuff. All right, so I wanted to ask you, right? Like, so for you in the agency, like, what are you doing now? What's the outlook like? What's the next steps?
Yeah, so just, I know with the paid traffic game and its challenges, just figuring out how to get the most out of ad spends, because there's still nothing like paid traffic to grow businesses, to scale businesses, and to do it quickly. So there's a lot of people relying on people like me to make it happen. So just trying to figure out how to get the most out of, whether it's Facebook ads, Instagram ads, YouTube ads. So, really, diving deep because things are changing so quickly. So just making sure that I'm still, a student in the game and figure out what it takes. So that's important. Also, like we kind of talked about the group, I got an offer called Group Monetization Mastery. So just showing people how to grow, captivate, and monetize their Facebook group, because that's really important. I think communities are key. So I don't foresee like things getting any easier with paid traffic. I don't see ad costs going down. I don't see CPMs going down. So the way to combat that is really to own your own audience and community, and a group is a great way to do that. So also doing a lot of that, and also kind of diving in a lot more lead gen type of campaigns to get quality conversation booked for businesses. So yeah, kind of spread out, but the goal remains the same, really just helping businesses grow.
I love it. All right, and if people want to get a hold of you, find out more information, or just, see what you're up to, how can they find you?
You can go to www.terryfosterconsulting.com. That's the website. On IG, you can follow me at Terry Foster Consulting. On Facebook, it's Terry Foster Consulting. If you have a Facebook group, or if you're interested in starting a Facebook group, you can join the free Facebook group, and that's Group Monetization Mastery.
All right, y'all, there you have it. So, again, this is another special episode. Hey, listen, I'm going to tell you one more time, and probably tell you again next episode. You got the best product in the world. If you don't have people in front of it, you will not be able to sell it. You're not be able to make more money, and you have to have a consistent flow of leads, right? That lead generation Terry talked about, and you need that with traffic. So today was a great episode. Make sure you watch and listen again if you need to get all of it that he dropped, and make sure you join us next week for another episode. You should be subscribed to the Traffic Sales and Profit Show, because we're here to help you boost your business. Peace.
The Combo, your home for conversations on Black entrepreneurship and wealth, available on your favorite platforms.